Hello, I'm Harvie S., and I'm here at Kolstein, NYC. Hello, I'm Harvie S., and we're here at Kolstein, NYC, which is located right across the street from Central Park, right near Columbus Circle. And this is a podcast called Bass in the Corner. And what I tried to do is show the bass players that are around New York City that you see in all the clubs, you hear on radio, they tour, they make records as a leader. They really keep the music alive, and not just jazz, all styles, Latin music, Broadway shows, cabaret, and jazz, all kinds of styles. So that's kind of what we do. And I've been so fortunate of the great bass players that are coming in. And here's another one of the great bass players, my good friend, Santi DeBriano. And welcome, Santi.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Harvie, for inviting me.
always good to see you. So, you know, like I've said before, is like we can go online and Wikipedia, and you can look about your history. So we don't need to go over that. So I have other things I like to talk about, see another side of you. So first thing I like to ask, what are you doing now in the next few months, or some projects you're doing? Because I know you're doing a lot of stuff as a leader and sideman stuff. So, talk about a few things.
Okay, well, the main project that I'm involved with is my large group orchestra. We call it Orchestra Bembe.
Yeah.
Santi DeBriano's Orchestra Bembe. And last year we had a pretty busy year, and so we're setting up for this year. We just came out of Smalls. We did a night, and I know we're going to go back into Smalls in the fall, and we're just starting to get our calendar together for this season.
Oh, good.
So that's the main focus of my attention. And then other than that, there's two things I can mention. I'm going to be at the Vanguard in February.
Oh, nice.
With Joe Lovano's group.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
nice project that we put together with Joe. And it's got Will Calhoun on drums and Julian Lage. You know him?
Yeah, I know, the guitarist.
Beautiful guitarist.
Yeah, fabulous.
So that's a nice group. And we recorded over at Rudy Van Gelder's, just a kind of informal recording, and listened back to it and said, wow, listen to that. So everybody's like supercharged, ready to do something.
Oh, yeah. I
so that's coming up. I think it's the third week of February we're going to be there.
I may be gone. I'm leaving the 24th, so maybe.
No, it's that week. I think it's before that.
Oh, maybe I'll
like
still be around.
Like the 19th or something like that?
Yeah, I'm still around.
And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm playing on Staten Island. I don't play on Staten Island. I live on Staten Island, but
You're actually playing there.
I'm actually
finally.
playing there. I got a regular Thursday at a beautiful. It's an upscale restaurant, and I could take a trio in there. So I've been doing two members of the orchestra. Adrian Alvarado plays flamenco guitar.
Nice.
And then Tommy Morimoto plays saxophone.
I know Tommy, sure, yeah.
So the three of us go in. We've been doing it now for the past month and a half, and we've been sort of developing our music. I play guitar and I play bass.
Right, because you play guitar.
Yeah,
I know,
so we do two guitars and saxophone. We do bass, guitar, saxophone.
Oh.
And we've been playing mainly our standard tunes, but every once in a while we play around with the standards, or we might slip in our own original tune or something.
Right,
like that.
I'm sure that'll be a good thing to do. Oh, that
So
sounds
that's why
great.
I'm
So you're
having
doing
fun
some
with
really
music
good
these
stuff.
days. Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of the things, we've hung out a lot and everything, but I never really said to you, oh, Santi, when you were young, I doubt your parents said, you're going to become a bass player. I doubt they said that. I mean, you know, what
Yeah.
parent? There are a few parents that might say that.
My father at one point told me that I think it was maybe when I was in junior high school or high school, and I was kind of on the fence: should I choose bass or should I choose guitar? Because by then I already had both, and I was working on it. And he told me, there's a bass player in every band.
Right, you need
Take bass
take
if
the
you
bass,
want to
you
work.
work.
They need you.
But you know, like, how did you start to decide
Yeah.
to play the bass?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole story.
Good. That's what we're here for. That's why you're here.
My family is musical. My grandfather on both sides were professional musicians.
Oh wow.
My grandfather,
Very
this
lucky.
is back in Panama.
Wow.
My grandfather on my father's side played the organ with the church, and my grandfather on my mother's side was a professional drummer. He had his
Oh.
own band.
Wow.
Used to play at the Army base and stuff like that. Had his name on the drum set.
Of
in front,
course.
you know. And they were mambo bands, you know,
Oh.
in Panama.
All right.
I never heard him play, but I can imagine, you know.
Ooh, all
He looked
right.
a little like Art Blakey, you know, dark and you know, balding head and
Right.
in suits and stuff, you know. And I could just, I saw a picture of him at the drum set, and I could just imagine those nice mambo beats coming from that
Oh,
set.
that's so
You know,
cool.
he was a set player, and my father played piano and was a composer.
So yeah, it was inevitable that, you know,
It
if
was
you had
around my-
musical talent, which you obviously do, that you were going to end up playing music.
I suppose so. I mean, I was gravitated towards it almost like it struck me from, I'd say, fourth grade on. And in the fourth grade, we came from Panama when I was 4 years old. And we basically started over here. So we were poor people living in the projects. And when I was 8, I was in public school over at it was PS 224. That would be the third grade.
So you're a New
They
Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah. Wow.
So
real New
the
Yorker.
New York public schools system was setting up a special school over in, I think it was the Canarsie area, that we would have to be bused over there. They were looking for kids that were smart, and they were kids that were interested in the arts. So they sent somebody over to my school, and they gave us some kind of ear training test. Raise your hand if you know if you can hear the difference between this note and that note. You know? I remember silly questions like that I raised my hand and stuff. And before I knew it, I was asked to be in this program. It was called IGC, Intellectually Gifted Children.
Wow.
Now I know that sounds like maybe like autist, you know, mentally retarded or something.
No, no. A nice way of saying that.
But at that time, that's what it meant. And
That's
you
so
know,
cool. Yeah.
from the fourth grade on, from the fourth grade to the ninth grade, I was in that program, and all of us moved in together in that program. That were in that program. It was like, you know, we were in class 4-1, then 5-1, then 6-1, and that was the IGC class. And then we went to 7-1, and then we skipped the 8th grade and went to 9th grade. And during those years, we had academic subjects in the morning, and in the afternoon, we had 3 days a week, we had youth orchestra.
Oh,
And 2 days a week, we took painting and drawing. It was my best years.
You really lucked out.
It
That's
was
a
fantastic.
fantastic thing.
And I don't even know how I qualified for it.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but that record. I mean, that class set me on the path that I'm on now. still trying to figure out how this stuff works, you know?
Yeah, we all, aren't we
That's
all?
right.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
started
had an
young.
interesting way of starting.
Yeah, they lined us up size places. So the small girls took violins, small boys took violas.
And you're a bigger guy.
guys bigger girls took cellos.
Oh,
And the big guys took the bass. I was big at that time, and you know, the bass was like the gang hang out in the bass.
Can you
department.
carry this thing around?
Yeah, on the yellow
Oh,
school
cool.
bus in the back.
Wow. So like obviously you became a professional musician doing amazing stuff. And as a professional musician, we all get into weird situations. No matter what we try, no matter how we try to avoid it,
Yeah.
always strange things happen.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's kind of fun to hear about some of the crazier events in your life, which I know happened.
Yeah.
Because it happened to all of us.
Yeah, that's right. Well, one thing I can think of, this was like the early 80s. I was traveling with Sam Rivers.
Oh, nice.
Remember Sam?
Oh, yeah.
And back in those days, you'd get the Eurail pass, and then you could travel all throughout Europe.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd be in first class in the sleeping cars, right?
Oh, that's
in the,
cool.
in the big first class compartments that could turn into a sleeping thing, you know, because you could put the thing, and we would put the bass above. You remember that? You remember that?
Yeah, I
I
did
know
that.
you've done that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were leaving from Paris to Berlin, and to get to Berlin, if you remember the old days, Harvey, you had to go you had to take
Oh, that's
the,
when it was
the
communist.
train. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so you couldn't go through East Germany.
Well, you had to go
Yeah,
through
through
East
Checkpoint
Germany.
Charlie.
To get to the Berlin, you had to cross the East German line.
Yep.
So when we got to the line, there was a conductor that came on.
Uh-oh.
And he had everybody come out, and then he had everybody take their instruments. He told me, take your thing and put it down here. So I did. I put it on the floor, and he had everybody, including Sam Rivers, take the instruments out. And the drummer we were traveling with his trap case and everything.
Yeah, in those days we did. You
That's
traveled
right.
with drums, with everything.
He opened the trap case and everything. He looked in, and then he came to the bass and asked me to open the bass case. I opened it. He saw the cover. Then he said, take it out. I took it out, and then he said, point to the back of the bass, and he said, open that. I said, no, you don't do
can't.
that. No. And then the guy started insisting with the German accent. And Sam, who's usually very mild, but you know, he's an older cat, you know, he always had an older look about him, but he was mild. Sam came up to the guy and put his face right by the guy's face, and he was yelling him down. He was saying, I know you know what this is. And Sam started reciting, you know, contrabass, a string bass, it's a bass violin. You know, he goes through everything he could think of. Bass fiddle in front of the guy. This is not just any piece of luggage. Really yelling, and his eyes were bugging and stuff. I'd never seen Sam like that. And the guy, the German guy, said, "Okay." Put it down.
Yeah, because
Mr.
Sam's
Germ-
saying, you
Woo!
open up the back of that bass, the tour's over.
Oh man! And you know, I felt like I have somebody that's got my back with this Sam Rivers. I love this guy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he
Yeah,
knew
he
that,
came to the
he
rescue,
had no
Jack.
bass.
Oh,
There'd be no
yes.
bass on the tour.
Yeah.
Because once you open up the back, you know, then you got to get
It's
to
done.
a bass maker and get the
Yes.
whole thing. Plus, if you opened it, you're going to ruin the instrument because
But-
you don't have the tools.
But the conductor knew what this
He
was.
was being
He was just being obnoxious. He knew what this was. He knows. You know, if he
Well,
wants,
you know
he
what
can take a
sometimes-
flashlight and look inside.
you know what sometimes they're doing?
It could be that.
Yes.
It could be that.
You say you pull out a €50
yeah.
and you say to
End
him,
of story.
"You sure you want to look at that?" And that's what he was. That's what I think, because I had experiences like that.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all
that
about a
could
little
be.
payoff.
That really could be.
Yeah.
I was
but-
in a situation. I was in a situation with in Panama, not with a base, but where it became clear that what the cop wanted was some money.
Oh yeah. You know,
You're absolutely right about that. It could have been that.
that's what it was.
But,
you know, great. So yeah. So now today you is this the first time you've been to the shop?
It is.
So what are your impressions?
Wow! Look at all these beautiful bases here. It's beautiful. It's just my taste in the showroom. Everything is displayed lovely, and you've got so many old, wonderful instruments. Everything feels clean. It's not a feeling of like I'm walking into a dusty, old, strange-smelling, you know, medieval
Right.
shop. You know, this is modern.
And that's Scott LaFaro's bass.
Yes.
And that's Eddie Gomez's bass.
I saw Eddie playing this bass when I was in college.
Wow.
I saw the Bill Evans trio with Eddie and Joe LaBarbera.
Wow, yeah.
And Eddie was playing without amplifier, and you could hear a pin drop in that room. It was like the student cafeteria.
Wow.
And I recognized this bass because it was this color bass. And I was just floored. I had not seen that band before, and it knocked me out.
And that bass is here for sale.
Isn't that something?
Yep. The LaFaro bass is not for sale. Nobody can buy that bass at any cost, at any price. But that's kind of a good thing. And
Years later, I saw Mark Johnson playing on a bass similar to
his
this.
bass looked like that. It was different bass, but
Is
yeah,
it
he had,
different?
I remember he had kind of a dark
Dark,
bass.
that's
Looked
right.
violin corners and stuff.
It had violin corners?
I think it did. Maybe.
I saw him with Bill.
With Bill, yeah, I saw that band. Yeah, that was good. That was
I
great.
want to try this one out.
Yeah. While you're here, you'll be able to try some basses. And yeah, so that's great. Anything else you'd like to say or talk about or before we go?
Gee, what a honor. You're such a great bass player.
Oh.
It is an honor to me that you would ask me to participate in something
Well,
like
you know,
this.
it was an honor for me when you called me and asked me to play with your band
Oh,
when we
with
did the
with
three basses with you,
yes,
me, and
the
Essie.
Castle Magic. It's a fantastic group. We had fun with that band, right?
So we honor each other, and maybe we'll put it together again.
I really would like that.
And this would be the perfect spot. We've been doing great concerts here. We'll be doing a jam session. We do it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're going to do another one on Wednesday, and we
Need a
do.
guitar player?
Oh, anytime you come, we'd be thrilled. You know, and so we've had like a jam session,
Nice.
and then we're doing the podcast. This is series 2. When we tried to get you in series 1, but you were booked.
Yeah.
But thank God you were available on this time. And then what we do is like you played that bass at the beginning. That's one of what they call Harvie's picks. I kind of, with Barry, we go over instruments. We get them in perfect playing condition. We have a whole bunch, 6 or 7 of them here that are all ready to play.
Yeah, well, that
You know.
bass felt fantastic. Felt
Oh,
great.
thank you.
It felt like a rocket ship ready,
Ready to
take
go.
off.
You could walk out of here, go in and play a gig
Yeah.
with it tonight.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here. So we're
Yeah.
trying to make this a very special place. So great. And
Is this
thank
one
you.
set up like that?
No, I didn't work on that bass. That was just taken in. When it's a consignment, somebody else's bass, we don't touch them. You know, because they're not the only one the shop owns it. So we just left it the way it is, but it's pretty nice. And it's great. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Harvey.
Santi, thank you.
My pleasure.